Hello, friends, and happy Tuesday to you. I just want to come to you and give you a quick market update on what's been happening. Some of the business headlines that I want to make sure are on your radar. After all, sharing is caring, and there's been a lot of news. In fact, if you've been watching the market and you saw how it closed, and if you didn't, that's okay because that's why I'm here. I'm going to tell you, you actually had some pretty good news today. The Dow closed up 339 points, the Nasdaq closed up 264 points, and the S&P also up 56 points, so positive across the board. And so you might be watching and wondering what's been going on. So I wanted to tell you some of the things that should be on your radar. Obviously the market likes good news, and hey, looks like we just maybe be a little bit closer to that good news. Sort of one of the big reasons why the market closed so positively, and actually was positive throughout the day today, was because there's growing hope that in fact what's happening in Ukraine, that things we might be getting closer to better days ahead, right? So the Ukraine and Russia talks continue today in Turkey. And one thing that investors really paid attention to is you're going to see the news talk more and more about the words ceasefire. So whether or not they're going to ceasefire, it's yet to be seen, right? But the fact that these terms keep coming, that both countries are sitting down having conversations, we're hoping they're effective as they're meeting in Turkey today. But there's hope. And so because of that, investors are clawing onto that, hoping for success and hoping that things get to be better, and certainly that less lives continue to be lost. In fact, we heard today one of the officials said, they said this is what they say. They say, nothing's agreed upon unless everything is agreed upon. So still a lot of work to be done, but hopefully we're getting closer to that, right? Hopefully things will get a little bit more normal. Now, the other news that I saw today that I want to share with you is this, and I'm gonna kind of say this way: is Canada the new Russia? Right? First of all, when you're hearing me say that, you might be like, what are you talking about? Is Canada new Russia? Okay, hear me out. Certainly, I don't mean Canada in terms of war aggressiveness. No shape or form am I comparing them to Russia in that respect. But Canada does produce many of the same commodities that come from Russia. Now, you obviously know about oil. You all obviously know about wheat, nickel, other energy, other commodities. Well, believe it or not, a lot of the things that Canada is able to produce and export are the things that historically have come from Russia as well. So that's some good news. We're also seeing that a lot of countries now are lining up to do deals with Canadian countries and industries for that reason as well. So something really to pay attention to. Is this going to be a trend going forward? Are more countries now going to say, you know what, we're going to just shift that business away and go ahead and do more business with Canada? Certainly that looks like that'll benefit Canadians quite a bit. Now, on other news, and this is big news that came out today as well, is on the job front. Now, you may have heard more workers actually quit last month than it's actually record numbers of people continue to not only quit jobs, change jobs, make changes in their employment. In fact, the job market has remained very, very strong the last few months, and which suggests that first off, workers continue to be high in demand. This is great news if you're looking for a new job, or you're looking for more work even. This gives you some opportunity. Now, however, that being said, the Labor Department is still saying that there continues to be over 3 million people here in America that are not working. So we don't know exactly why that is, but unfortunately, that is the state of the economy. Now, to give you an idea of how that compares, though, 3 million Americans still out of work compared to over 11 million job openings in last month, in fact. And now that's actually has been sort of the same number since January, but it's sort of down a little bit since December. So people are starting to go back to work, but still a lot of demand. And why that's important to talk about is because if businesses have positions open and they're actively looking to recruit, that also means they have positiveness in their balance sheet to be able to do more hires, which is, of course, a positive sign for the economy as well. Now, let's shift over to some of the bad news, if you will, on the financial markets. But before we do, I want to say a hip ho hello to my good friend Tim Song. Joining is from Facebook Live. Tim, it's awesome to see you from Pennsylvania. It's wonderful to have you here. Now, let's talk about some of the bad news in the financial markets because it's really important that you pay attention to this too, because this can quickly make changes in how the market is doing. Now, we need to talk about, of course, the consumer price index, right? We need to talk about how things are getting a lot more expensive, but also talk about the increasing in prices on real estate. Now, if you're in a home right now and you've refinanced your mortgage or you've even paid off your mortgage, you're probably sitting pretty well. You're probably sitting pretty comfortably. Now, if you refinance into a fixed mortgage, you're probably comfortable with that payment. Hopefully, you are. And if you're not, then if you're still waiting to refinance, it might not be as advantageous as it was just a few months ago. But not even just talking about mortgage, let's just talk about the price of homes. In fact, compared to last year, prices of homes have increased by in north of 19%. This is in January, this January from last year. So housing prices throughout the United States on average are up quite a large amount. So we know that the Fed funds recently increased its interest rates by 25 basis points just a couple weeks ago, and it's expected to do so again on May 4th, and probably another 3 to 4 increases in interest rates for the rest of this year, which means you're sort of in a kind of a sticky situation. Not only have the prices of homes increased, but now the cost to borrow that money in the form of a mortgage continues to increase this year, right? It went up just a few weeks ago. It's going to go up probably in May again. And we're talking about at least 3 to 4 increases. So if you're looking for property, you're looking to purchase a home, you want to make sure this information is on your radar. Now, areas where it really increase in terms of housing prices, and in some cases are increasing by more than 20%, including Phoenix, Tampa, Miami, there's actually like 20 different cities in January alone, some of them averaging over 32% increase year over year. So the last couple of years. So it's been crazy just how quickly home prices have risen. For those of you who are watching, I'd love to hear, have you noticed prices increasing in your neighborhood? I've certainly noticed in my neighborhood that a house will come on market. Sometimes you'll see a sign. Sometimes you don't even see a sign. And literally within a few days, a couple weeks, that house will be gone. It'll be sold. So that's just how competitive this real estate market has been. I don't know if it's the same case right now or if it's going to quiet down now that interest rates have increased. I'd be welcome to see what you have to say about that. Now, on other news, and this is also really important, especially if you're an investor, you want to be paying attention to trends. You want to also pay attention to short-term trends and things that could potentially impact your investing portfolio. And let's talk about pandemic news. Now, you've probably been like myself and been reading news and wondering what's been going on in the pandemic, right? We've been hearing about Ukraine, we've been hearing about inflation, about the Fed and all these things. But what about COVID? We haven't heard about COVID in a bit, and it's been actually a very welcome change, right? Many of us have been feeling like things are getting a little bit more normal. We know a lot of places, have been dropping off masks, and we've been seeing people feel like sort of better days are ahead. Well, here's what we know so far. Unfortunately, there was an article that came out from CNBC and NBC, my friends there, talking about, unfortunately, the new variant, the BA2 subvariant of Omicron, unfortunately is estimated to be more than half of all COVID cases here circulating in the United States. In fact, about 54%, 55% they're talking about. And this was reported today from the U.S. Department of Disease Control, so the CDC, talking about that. And the FDA also announced this week that those who are over the age of 50 now are going to soon have the ability to have that second booster. So you named it right. That's actually a fourth vaccine in a very short amount of time for the same virus, the same coronavirus, you would say. 4 shots now. Now, the fourth shot is going to be either in the form of Pfizer or Moderna, and it'll be available to adults over the age of 50. Looks like that'll be available to most places, probably the place that you got your last vaccine. Probably you'll be able to get that there as well if you're over the age of 50. So unfortunately, COVID still isn't completely beyond us, but I guess for today at least, we can feel like we're sort of normal, and maybe things will get a little bleaker in the coming weeks, but at least we can enjoy today for what it is. We're seeing already rising cases and more shutdowns occurring in different parts of the world. Overseas, certainly a lot of countries making those mitigation changes already. So just something to pay attention to, right? And something to plan ahead to, in terms of if you haven't done your financial planning, you haven't looked at your portfolio in a long time, and maybe you have or you haven't finished filing your taxes. A lot of things to keep in mind, but most importantly, what I want to remind you of is it's not just important to plan for today, but also very important to plan for the future. So remember that, really, really important. But thank you so much, my friends, for watching. Thank you, Sadiq from Miami, also for joining us, and thank you so much for supporting this program. If you don't mind, take a moment to share this show with someone that you care about. Someone in your life needs financial planning. Definitely tell them to tune in and reach out. We love to hear from you. And if you have any other questions, feel free to send me a message. Always a treat to be here with you. And with that, I will see you again tomorrow. Have a wonderful day. Take care now.